Now, we've settled into a new home here on the River Clyde, but STV is at the centre of a radical transformation still going on in Glasgow. The city is at the halfway stage of a £3 billion Riverside regeneration. In tonight's Inside Story, our reporter Joanne Bonner travelled along the Clyde to look at the past, present and future.
The vision is to transform the social, economic and physical map of more than 30 kilometres along both banks of the Clyde to create one of the world's foremost waterfront developments.
Noise was constant. People using their hammers, or using their guns, or machinery getting moved.
Jim McFall has worked at BAE Systems in Govan for 27 years, one of only 3 yards left on the Clyde. His job as a crane man gives him a bird's eye view of the changes.
Everything seems to be done this side of the river. I can understand they have projects, they have money, the way things have got to be done. But for a leisure point, there's nothing for the local people of Govan. From the science centre downwards, there's nothing.
Opposite the Govan Yard is Glasgow Harbour, a £1.2 billion project including a casino, shopping centre, multiplex cinema, the new Riverside Museum to replace the Transport Museum and thousands of homes. Ali Moncrief has bought into the dream of river living.
I just always felt the city was this dark, dingy, frightening place. And that's gone now. It's completely opened it up.
The wave of activity extends into the heart of the city. To the north, plans for an arena at the SECC and the burgeoning financial district. On the south side, the site of the Glasgow Garden Festival is now home to a growing media village with STV and from next year the BBC. Glasgow City Council is masterminding the grand plan.
Communities right across the banks of the Clyde over the next few years will begin to see remarkable changes in every community. This is an exciting time in Glasgow and I'm absolutely determined that everyone is part of it.
Glasgow is at the midway point of the regeneration. The next 10 years will be crucial as a new era dawns over the River Clyde. Joanne Bonner, Scotland Today, Glasgow.
Now, 50,000 new jobs could be created as part of the regeneration of the River Clyde. It's been revealed projected investment is now running at £5.6 billion, leading to hopes of a huge economic transformation. Well, let's go to the banks of the river now, where Louise White is live for us tonight. Louise, tell us more.
Well, Stephen, it's being referred to as the tide of economic fortune for the River Clyde. Standing out here in this lovely October evening, it's not difficult to see what they're actually talking about. Just across the river here, the hospitality and entertainment investment that's been taking place. Here we are on the south of the river in the new media village. Broadcasters such as STV moving in. If I step right out your way and if you look right down the river, you can probably see the cranes on the left-hand side of your screen. Right opposite, new apartments and new flats are being built on the site of the old granary store that once dominated the site. It's not hard to see what is happening here. And as Kellyanne Bishop now reports, today there's even more good news.
It was once a neglected piece of land, but now the banks of the River Clyde has been transformed into one of the most vibrant places to live and work in Glasgow. And it's now estimated that the Riverside regeneration has the potential to create 50,000 jobs.
Well, the River Clyde has been so important to the history of Glasgow, and once again it's taking its place at the centre of economic activity in the city. And this is not just about, luxurious new homes for some people in the city. This is about jobs for ordinary Glaswegians.
Amongst those who've gained from the redevelopment are workers in the retail, catering and construction industry.
All in all, we've been here for maybe about 4 or 5 years, off and on, between the flats down the road and here. There's been plenty of work for us,
Travelling along the Clyde on a river boat is also now a reality thanks to the regeneration. This service, which travels between Glasgow and Braehead 12 times a day, is just another business which has benefited. However, despite the massive investment, some Glaswegians feel the money would be better spent elsewhere.
There's nothing here now, Govan's dead.
What about the rest of the Govan?
There's a lot of houses schemes in Govan.
But delegates from all around the world who were attending a conference in Glasgow today about the waterfront development were impressed, especially with the iconic structures such as the Clyde Arc Bridge.
We are very impressed which we see this day, and this project looks like our projects in St. Petersburg.
Glasgow City Council say today's announcement marks the turning of the tide in economic fortune for the River Clyde and its neighbouring communities. Kellyanne Bishop, Scotland Today, Glasgow.
Now, the bottom line here is that there is demand for this expansion. There's a fresh vitality about the city of Glasgow now, and the realisation that it is back on the map, but for all the right reasons this time. Back to you, Stephen.
A lovely view tonight as well. Thanks very much indeed, Louise. The regeneration of the Clyde has been transforming depressed and derelict areas, but not everyone is happy with what's happening on the banks of the river. In a special Inside Scotland report, Vicky Lee hears from the people living in Govan, Partick and Clydebank who fear they're being left behind in the Clyde's rebirth.
It can't be denied that the views from this new bridge down the Clyde are pretty impressive. At £20 million, it was a key part of the Clydeside regeneration. However, if you look a little bit closer, you can see not everything is shiny and new. Here in Govan, one of Glasgow's poorest communities, residents live with the views of regeneration, but they're not actually experiencing it themselves.
There's nothing round about here. Bingo hall shut, they're what to do up the front. No, I mean, there's nothing for the people of Govan to do.
It's no affecting this area at all. The houses might look nice if you're going down the boat, but what else is it doing?
Today, those who believe regeneration is failing them met up to discuss just how it needs to filter through to their communities.
Unfortunately, this latest initiative carries on with the same kinds of policies which have failed to deliver for our poorest communities in the past. And this time we're expected to believe that with all this high-profile, glitzy development that's going on round about us down here, that somehow these benefits are automatically going to flow this time.
But Glasgow City Council bosses believe that the regeneration of the Clydeside will affect everyone. In a statement, they say the rebirth of the Clyde is creating jobs, with some 50,000 expected in the next 10 years, alongside £5 billion worth of public and private investment. The Clyde is quite rightly an example of regeneration, which is a national priority for Scotland and a symbol of ambition and achievement for the people of Glasgow. Right now, though, it's clear that those living in Govan to those living in Clydebank feel as though they're getting a raw deal. So questions are being asked as to whether the real reasons for deprivation in these areas will ever be touched upon. Vicky Lee, Scotland Today, Govan.